Just show us kind of if you were going to work on this a little bit. Obviously, don't hurt yourself. Is he going to bolt away from you if you go to squirt it? Because I don't want to get you hurt with your leg and get... Oh, so he does know how to pull away too, huh? Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Today, I'm going to be showing you how we're going to get Steele to be more confident with scary things. Let's get into it. So this is Steele?
This is Steele, and he's like 16. And I got him as a horse that's ready to ride and ready to trailer, and he will not do any of that. And so now...
How long have you had him?
This is the 3rd year. And I've worked a lot with getting him to be with the farrier and stuff, but even the fly spray. Like, I'd like to work with him today and other things as to why he's afraid of everything.
So you're saying he's super reactive and everything you do.
Yes.
And right now the big issue is you can't put fly spray on him. What does he try to do when you put fly spray on him?
He will totally turn away. I mean, I try to fly spray another horse next to him and maybe let a little mist go near him, and no, he won't tolerate that. Or I try to do it with the fly spray next to him with the, with the cloth that I'm using, and then as soon as I try to spray a foot, well, now my trust is gone.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one. Even when I'd have people, because of my surgery, I'd have people come and feed him. They would tell me when they'd see me with him, wow, he doesn't let me touch him like that. So he's...
Yeah, we should say you've been limited because you had surgery last November and there's some complications, and so you haven't been able to put much time into him. So you're just kind of needing some help.
Yes, and I love him so much. I want to do what's right for him. I don't want to scare him more. And I've realized I may not ride him for another year. I'm going to take my time and just do whatever I need to do for him.
All right. Well, we're going to release him to the fly spray. So I'm going to poke around and see if I can find some things that are a bit challenging for him to hopefully help him build his trust with me before we go to the fly spray. So our fly spray today is our maneuver. Okay, and I'm going to try to release him to that. It's probably still going to be challenging, but we're going to do some things to help set it up for success. So let's start with stick and string here. So I always like to start the sessions off just a bit slower and kind of try to make friends. And you can see even just the stick coming on his back, he's a little skeptical. So it's like I don't really need to know a whole lot more than that to say, yeah, it's probably not a great plan to just jump on and ride him around. And so again, a lot of times you guys see me when I first take over a horse, I go away from them. An easy way to build a horse's confidence, and even we might do this with the fly spray where I'm spraying it and asking him to follow it while I spray. If they were going to follow something, they innately would be curious. So if they have something they're afraid of, they don't want to follow it, but if you can set it up where they start to follow it, they usually switch from being defensive to being curious. And so that's when we're really winning, is when we can get him to not be defensive, we can get him to be curious about things. But you can see, like right there, he went to react. I didn't even touch him with the stick, I just brought it up. So I'll just go to there and then retreat. And every time I work with a new horse, I'm just trying to understand where they're at with things. And even if it's just getting him used to the motion and me bringing it here. But ultimately, there's like an underlying thing, which is, I want him, you can see he's taking a defensive posture, see how he's kind of angling away from me? I can offset that just by doing this little move. And it's almost like, this is probably not a great way to say this, but I'm gonna say it. It's like confuses their defense systems a little bit. By just yielding the hindquarters and repositioning him to where I put him, I just put him here versus him staying at the angle away. Those are little things that go a long ways with a horse like him that's pretty reactive and pretty defensive. And you can see when I reapproach him with it, you see there's already a little change, a little bit better. And then I'll retreat and I'll walk away. And now I won't do the hindquarter yield, I'll just walk away from him. The horsemanship journey can be a challenging one, filled with a lot of obstacles that come up along the way. And it can be a lot easier if you have a coach to help you through it. I'd like to be your coach, and I can do that on my Patreon page. I post a new video there every Wednesday, and I even answer your questions. So if you guys would like me to be your coach, go ahead and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's get back to the video. But when he takes that angle, and he kind of did that when you were trying to catch him, that's something that we'd like to get fixed where you're moving or retreating before he takes that angle. So it's like, because if you're at liberty and you're trying to put a halter on him or lead rope on him, you ideally wouldn't let him get to that point where if you feel him leaving, go ahead and you leave first. So then instead of him leaving you, you're leaving him, and then set up a new approach to it. Does that make sense? But as soon as he took that angle and had his butt kind of come towards you, that's that defensive posture. You would want to go ahead and redirect where you're going already. And you kind of tried to stick with it, and that's where I would just caution you that it can lead to kicking, because they have more limited vision directly behind them and directly in front of them. And so sometimes if they're not sure, they'll just throw a kick out there to see, Not because they're really trying to hurt you, but just they're a little scared at that moment and they're kind of protecting themselves. So here we'll go ahead and yield the hindquarters again and then just walk away. It's got a nice little soft hindquarter yield. So again, I'm just getting to know him, letting him get to know me. Now, I think when a lot of people watch these videos, they notice the specific technique I'm using, but I want you to also get a hold of the overall theme, which is if we got this horse really good at reading my energy versus my intention, we could help him get comfortable with anything very quickly. So the underlying theme is he's not reading your intention, he's reading the energy. Like as you walk up to him, he's like, oh, that's a lot of energy, I need to start getting defensive. But if he can read our intention, that our intention is to be friendly and build his confidence, that's gonna make things a lot easier. So when I say that, I'm not really doing a deliberate exercise for that right now, other than I'm trying to be calm and quiet, but I'm maintaining good positions, and I'm still expecting him to be in the position I put him in versus the one he put himself in. And as we go through it, he's gonna start learning to recognize. So like right there, my intention was friendly. Here I'm gonna change my intention. I'm gonna ask him to move. So I'm just looking at him a little more serious. And again, you would feel the same thing. If I walk up to you and I'm just like, hey, how's it going? You know, like this doesn't feel threatening at all. But if I went like this, all I had to do is take 2 steps with that look on my face, and that seems more of a threatening posture, like we're about to get into it. You know what I mean? And so horses read that even more than people read that. We need him, he sees all of it as this coming at him. That's what even when we're trying to be friendly. And so he needs to learn to read that difference. So the more of a difference that we can make it for them, or if I want him to yield, I change it. That was a really nice response. And that actually also brings out the advantage that you have with a sensitive horse, is that they can be really light with a lot of cues. You don't have to put a lot of pressure to motivate them to do things. Like even there, you could just see the hindquarter yield. And so it's like here, I'm just messing with him going, hey, can you read this is friendly, this is driving. Friendly. Does that make sense? And just playing with that, he's starting to get, oh, when he looks like this, I need to move. When he doesn't look like that, I don't need to move. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Notice I'm switching sides with him a lot too. And you know, most people understand this by now, that you got to train a horse on both sides. And if I had a bad response on one side, I would stay there until it got better, but then I would immediately go to the other side. And again, that kind of confuses his defense systems, where it's hard for him to plan an exit strategy if I'm kind of just moving around and flowing with him. So yeah, you don't want to be direct lined where you're going to the same side over and over again. You want to be able to adjust and flow between sides. And you can see he's already he's relaxing with me, right? And so that's different than so he's already deciding that he's okay to be with me, which means now we have kind of a green light to start challenging him a little bit. So now we're going to up the ante. And now I'm going to see if we can swing this rope over him. And I want to bring it all the way off, all the way back on. And to me, that's actually quite impressive that he went from the stick coming at him and being a little defensive to handling it fairly well. As you can see, his head's up and his ears are in kind of an alert position. But he didn't make any moves about it. You know, it's like, it's still okay. You know what I mean? It hasn't really crossed the line yet. Like, he can still notice flies on him and even move towards me instead of moving away. Now see here, I could really make friends with him if I could get the fly that's on him. That's why we need to fly spray you, buddy. I'm gonna try to help you out with this. Quick way to make friends is if it's fly season and they got some itchy spots where the flies get after them that they can't reach. But you can see he's settling down with me. He's doing good. So we might need to go to something a little bit harder here. Okay, so now the string is making some noise and that got him more bothered. And you can see now is where I can build in this like follow it program. There, see there, he followed it more freely without pulling for just a couple steps. There, we got it again. Very good. So we're gonna up the ante here and we're gonna go to something a little bit harder. We're gonna switch to a flag. Oh boy, that's a lot scarier. Yeah. So there I had to get both hands on the rope and kind of do it. To me though, I wasn't, hang on. So to me, that's where like, it's more of a habit. Like even there, like the flag was down and he was still trying to bolt away. To me, that's more of where he's learned to bolt away. Because he learned to pull away, I had to set some boundaries there. once he started to believe me that he can't pull away, you know, if I was at my house, I would be in a round pen and I'd have a long enough rope on him that it's like he could just go to, the fence would keep him in versus the rope. But look at the change that he made just from 2 times of attempting to leave, because it's almost like he kind of learned he could leave more than he's really that afraid of it. But he's kind of got your number a little bit, where he's kind of learned that he can get away with some things. And basically learned that if he doesn't like something, he can just get away from you in order to get relief, you know. And so we got to reverse that. We got to get it to where he's kind of working for you a little bit more instead of him doing his own thing. Yeah, he definitely could try it again. And so that's where, you know, working in a smaller space with a longer rope where you can just let him drift. Because like another way to do it is, let's say we were in a round pen and he left. You could just say, okay, you can be out there on the edge of the round pen, but I'm just going to ask you to keep moving. Now we're going to do some work. You don't have to hold him, but that was my only option in this scenario was to hang on. And I felt like how hard he left, I felt like I could set a boundary there. He didn't leave with full commitment. You know, it was a fairly left-brain deliberate decision. It wasn't just full on scared. And that's why he's made this change now. And now I'm doing exactly what we tried to do, and he's just standing here. So he was just like, I'm gonna leave. Like, it was more of a thoughtful thing. Versus I scared him and he took off because he had no other choice. He was so afraid. That's not what happened. He was like, I don't like this, I'm gonna leave. You know, he just made a conscious choice. So in this instance, it was kind of really good that he learned to run into a boundary there and say, oh, I can't leave just because I'm bothered. Now see there, he got bothered by it and he chose to turn and face it. And then I had good feel where I stopped my approach and he switched to curious, which is what I wanted the whole time. And so then I'm gonna take it away. And that's on me, right? Like, I could have kept approaching there and I could have caused him to pull away again. And so the more you can read your horse as you're doing this, you can create more of this like curiosity stuff as you're doing it. And so this is where we can go back to a more proactive strategy. And you can see his head going down. You can see that. See how he switched to curious about it now? And that's exactly what I was talking about, where at first he was kind of defensive and then he switched to being curious. If I'm just to be really kind of bluntly honest with you, he's kind of just a lot of horse for you to learn these skills with, right? Like he's not very easy with this, and it would be great for you to practice on a horse that was easier with this. And so what that may mean is it may cost you more time and more patience on your part and just slowing it down a little bit more. But like I'm having to adjust to him quite a bit with what I'm doing. And if you weren't, it would be easy to misread some of those scenarios and have him just pull away, you know, because he's a little bit challenging about it. But because this was hard for him, this is going to set us up really well with the fly spray. If this was easy and I didn't find anything to get better, I have no better chance with the fly spray than anybody else doing it, you know. But that's exactly why I'm doing this. I'm trying to build some rapport and some respect. The respect came when he went to pull away and I set a boundary and he couldn't pull away from me. Instantly the respect status bar went up. He's like, oh, okay, this guy, he can outmaneuver me. The rapport went up when he got afraid and I stopped and waited and let him get curious. The rapport bar went up. He went, oh, this guy knows when I feel that way. And so there's times that it's like, I go slower when he gets worried, and then there's times where it's like I'm going to set a boundary because he's just leaving. And that's what's tricky about the horsemanship stuff, is you got to read all those different scenarios at different times. But you can see he's pretty coachable. Like, he's making these changes pretty efficiently with where we started with the flag to where we're at now. Let's just ask him to do a little circle here. So let's say he's afraid of the flag. I'm going to try to demonstrate the idea that I'm talking about. Let's say he needs more distance, so you put him on, you know, a good length would be like a 22-foot rope, okay? That would probably be enough that you could move your feet and he could go as far away to the fence, right? And so we're gonna demonstrate this a little bit. So the idea is he's afraid of this out here, so I'm just saying, okay, well, you could just be out there and let that be a little bit uncomfortable. But the way to get me to stop doing this with the flag is for you to not pull on the halter and think in. So here, I'll offer that to him, and the flag goes away. Now, it'd probably take a little bit more time if he was all the way out there and moving around a little faster, like if he was doing that because I was asking him to do it. But then you see how he's walking in closer now? He's a pretty smart little horse here, and he's figuring that out pretty quick. And I like that he's letting down all the way too. He's not holding on to it. That's really encouraging, because some horses that are really reactive, they're very reactive and very sensitive. So again, this is a little bit better example where he's a little more committed to running around out there. And so I just moved the flag in a way that I think is achievable for him to handle. And I'll let him go maybe 3 to 5 circles. I'm not gonna let him be out here for 20 minutes. 3 to 5 circles. I'm gonna wait till either he slows down or he gives off the halter a little bit more. But I want some change, so there's 2 circles. We said 3 to 5. Let's see if he makes a change. He switched leads, so that's good. He's on the inside lead, so he's wanting to feel more comfortable. This halter's twisting on me a little bit by his eye, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop there because that halter got twisted. That's one of the reasons why on my halters I have a ring there so that it slides and it doesn't twist on them quite as much. Oh, there you go. Nice. So yeah, we need to start using it. Do you have tickets for this year's symposium? Yeah. Well, how about I give you a free ticket to this, or tickets if you have a couple friends you want to bring with you. All right, so if you guys watching the video, if you haven't got your tickets, we have about 50 tickets left for the symposium. It is going to be an incredible event. I'm going to be starting a colt, kind of road to the horse style, where I'm going to be doing it under a little bit of a time frame and seeing kind of how far I can get with the colt. My friend Craig Johnson, who is a legendary reining horse trainer, multi-million-dollar rider, he's going to be presenting and working with some students with their horse. My friend Nate Bowers is going to show us some great stockmanship. He's incredible and he's hilarious. He's going to be commentating the colt starting. And then my wife's dressage trainer from Florida, his name is Baron Heilbronn. He is an incredible dressage instructor. He's going to be working with some dressage horses at various levels, showing you guys how they develop them. So you guys aren't going to want to miss this. Make sure you're there. And I'll leave a link below for where you can get your tickets for the symposium. I would say that the biggest challenge that you will have with him is you need to slow down. Because you're fresh out of surgery and you are out here moving around, doing this, you're trying to fly spray him, like you're a go-getter. Which the problem is going to be that you're going to end up moving a little fast for him. So the first thing you need to do is when you walk up to the gate is go, take a deep breath, and you need to slow, same when you were catching him. Once he left twice, you slowed down and he went, oh, that energy, I can connect to that more. So you're gonna have to slow yourself down. I would say that's probably, because he actually is trying pretty hard for me. I would say that, and like, and you can see it, like, look at it, he's standing right next to me. He wants to be with me. He's not like, oh, if I could just get away from this guy who keeps scaring me. He wants to be with me because I feel like a leader to him. Horses care about safety, then comfort, then play, and then food. That is the 4 things that horses care about. And I said those in an order. If you take a horse and you put them on a trailer for 10 hours and you haul them across the country somewhere, and you give them their favorite feed, their favorite treats, and you line them out across the pen, and you unload them off that trailer, do you know what they're gonna do when you turn them in here? They're gonna jump around, they're gonna roll, they're gonna kick and buck and play, and then they're gonna go eat, if they feel safe and comfortable. If they don't feel safe and comfortable, they're not gonna do the first 2. They're gonna run around snorting and prance around worried and maybe run through the fence. Okay, if they don't feel safe and comfortable. So there was a couple moments where he didn't feel safe, he tried to leave, but then he kept realizing that when he would try to do my idea, he felt more comfortable. So I've said that as long as he feels safe, I'm not trying to get him to the point where he feels unsafe. I am trying to make him a little uncomfortable to challenge his emotional fitness and his comfort zone, okay? But once he gets comfortable, that's why he wants to be with me, is comfortable. I haven't played with him and I haven't given him any food, okay? But he feels comfortable with me. That's why I say I feel like a leader to him. That's what horses are actually seeking, number 1, is if you can help a horse feel comfortable when they're with you, you've really won it all. All right, let's go ahead and try to tackle the fly spray now. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm gonna come out to the middle and we're gonna use the fly spray in the exact same thing we've been doing. I got my casual walk going, not trying to scare him. If he takes an angle on me, we're gonna start off at a distance. And so there, he's trying to leave, he's trying to leave, he's trying to leave. He got curious, it goes away. Then it'll walk away from him. This is why we're using water, not fly spray. Fly spray is like 23 bucks a bottle these days. And I think, to be honest, out of everything, I think he's actually worries about the noise because it's not even touching him and you can barely see it. I think it's the noise that bothers him. Okay, so we'll retreat there. Yeah, but he's kind of leaning on it, and so I'm gonna try if I can see if we can add in this little backwards feel. But again, we've already taught him this. And now the mist is actually touching him. Yeah, it's a super hot day. You guys watching the video can't appreciate it, but it's like 95 right now and pretty darn humid. Super. So already that's a starting point for you where you could get him haltered up, get him walking, walk away from him, and you can start at a further distance of working this fly spray. And you see he's following that willingly, like my hand is open on the rope. So as long as you do it in the right wind direction, you can start to get some fly spray on him. Now we're going to work this other side here a little bit. There. So that shake, that was a good little letdown. That's him like loosening up. It's kind of like a person that was feeling a little bit stressed and they just like relax their shoulder. Somebody goes, you look tense, you just relax, and then they loosen up a little bit. That's kind of what he just did. And what's interesting is, like, if you think about people, we all hold tension all the time. Like, even just standing here, you have to have some level of tension so you don't fall asleep while you're watching this. And maybe you had some apprehension about what I was going to do or how this was going to go. And so just taking a deep breath and just intentionally relaxing your body, you can get more there. And that's what I'm asking you to do before you come in the pen with him, is you get yourself in that frame of mind to be nice and relaxed. Some horses, I would choose to follow them. I would go like this. I would keep spraying. Let's just try this technique once. This isn't a bad technique, but I think it's the wrong technique for him. Okay, so I could follow him here and say, when you quit backing up, I'm going to stop spraying, okay? But I don't like this technique for him. This is a technique probably that I use more than the one I'm doing with him, but I feel like it's not the best approach for him. Because you see how he's still backing up faster? Like, I think this horse has quite a bit of try, and he's trying to solve the puzzle. And so I can make the puzzle a little bit easier for him if I just go like this and I back up while I'm spraying. So you guys can't hear her, but she just said he's never been that close to being sprayed. So we're on the winning route here, and now I'm just rubbing him, and the fly spray happens to be here. Okay, so that's the more defensive. So I'm gonna kind of have him circle and following it. And I'm not gonna say that I would never just spray it and follow him with it until he stands still, but he's trying hard enough for me that I would just keep using this approach. Approach and retreat. And the retreat is you can keep spraying it while you walk away, and he's just starting to get settled into it more and more. Super. But fly spray is typically something you have to do many sessions of. You just build it progress by progress. Like, I usually have no desire to camp out in the arena with a horse for 2 hours until I can spray him head to toe. It's usually like I'll spend 5 to 10 minutes on it, and then I'll put it away, do something else, you know. And I want to just challenge him here a little bit, and let's just see where we can get with this. I'm just going to hang in here. So I would like him to understand this pattern as well, because hopefully by the time I'm done here, he's familiar with it. Like, he'll be sure that backing up doesn't equal relief. That was good. And I appreciate your approach of trying to get him to just want to do it all, but it's through understanding pressure and giving that it helps build everything more equally than just treats. Like, because he's more like, the question is, does he like treats more than he's scared of this? The answer is no. If he was eating a treat and you sprayed him with this, he's leaving, okay? And now he's gonna not like the treats, and now he's gonna lose trust in you. But as I'm doing this, I'm not giving him any treats, but he's trusting me more and more because of the way I'm doing it, because I'm helping him get in a good frame of mind with it. And I'm not like doing nothing with the halter. I'll give little tugs on it and try to encourage him to stay, because that's like, it just gives him a little bit of support of like what the idea is. But you see how much quicker we're getting there? And then again, you just work your way further back as you go. But that's why you could see it would be like it'd be drilling for oil if I said we're gonna spray him head to toe this first session, you know, when he's been scared of it for however long. But you do gotta do both sides, so we're gonna tackle the other side now. I like this. He's actually challenging himself a little bit more. He's trying to look at it. Look at that. Really good. It's a good boy. Steel. It's a cool name for you. So what that tells us, you have to train both sides, but because he's so much better on the off side, which is usually the harder side right away, what that says to me is not that he just learned it from the other side. It's more like he's in a better frame of mind as we go. So as we go through each scary thing, he's gotten in a better and better frame of mind. And it starts looking more and more like a horse we could ride too. I'm gonna say that's a win right there. I think we'll leave him there. That was really good effort on his part. You can see we got a lot of spray on him. Again, it's water. We're spraying him with water here, so yeah, that probably feels pretty good on a warm day. So tell me what were the takeaways in approaching to this that you're gonna take on board with you now?
Mainly that I have to slow down and calm myself.
Perfect.
And not expect him to go really fast. And when I do achieve something, just either let him soak or take a breather. It's amazing that it worked that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the closest he's ever been.
Well, thank you for sticking with it and being committed to him. The world needs more people like you that are doing that. And I can tell how ambitious you are by the fact of how much you're moving around, even with your leg healing up. So kudos to you. All right, thanks for having us out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.